What's going on, Larry? And I'm like, oh, I'm a white guy. I did a little layup with not a very high vertical. I'm Larry Bird, which is insulting to Larry Bird because every black player who ever played back then will tell you Larry Bird was an animal. Like Larry Bird,
a beast, but yeah, they kind of limited him down to just being really tall white guy.
Not only was he really, really good, but he talked a lot of shit.
Oh, really?
Oh, he was mean. Larry Bird was an asshole on the court. I think Magic even said they're like Larry was a dick on the court. Like he was playing against the Lakers, and they put a white guy on him, and Larry was insulted. And he started yelling at James Worthy and Magic Johnson. He goes, how you guys going to put a white guy on me? You can't don't put a white guy. And he scored like 50 points that game. Larry Bird was a monster.
So he was right.
Oh, yeah. No, don't put a white guy on Larry Bird. You put two black guys on Larry Bird. Then maybe you have a chance. And even still, he's going to get 25, 30 points.
Oh, Jesus.
But look, man, it was if there were two things I became known for on the inside, best goddamn center on the basketball court, and the cribbage guy. I was
the cribbage guy. You had a chance to pick up around a cribbage. That explains like the sister's haircut that we've got going on.
I went to Great Clips yesterday, and I told them, give me the Richard Spencer. And I fucked it up, though. I got that space. I hate when I get that space. I forget how high up my hair is now. See, that's a little bit. There we go. That's
you got to tuck back. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, God, nice.
But I just told them, I want to look like a white supremacist. And they said, you know what? In this region of the country, we know exactly what that haircut is. And I got to say, they did a good job.
I want to look like a white supremacist. Sir, we can't improve on perfection.
Yeah, we can, sir, you mean that this isn't intentional? I'm sorry. No, it was, look, before we get into details, and everybody's got questions, if your question's under $5, I'm not going to be able to get to it. A, this needs to be a profit-making thing. And B, I'm not going to answer every goddamn question because
every damn little
I don't know how many ways I don't know how many different ways I can tell you guys without you believing me. I was not sodomized. I can't go everybody with $1.99 burning a hole in their pocket, letting them know I didn't have anything. And by the way, for all of you who run Twitter accounts, the toe is back, return of the toe, all that. Let's get that breaking news out there right now and write it the way you're going to write it, which is Imholt claims not to be sodomized on the inside. So that answers questions.
On the outside, he's sodomized regularly.
Right. I was upset. I was like, do they not like me?
I've got a lifestyle to maintain, guys. What's going on?
I thought we were cool. But I was not sodomized on the inside. So that handles questions 1 through 973.
Okay.
We'll answer the rest. I have a whole page. While you're in there, while you don't have while you're locked down, while you're not out in the day room and everything else, you got all kinds of time. So I had a legal pad.
That was actually one of my big questions was like, are you allowed to like keep track of time, like what time it is during the day, or do you kind of have your routine to maintain you?
I had a phone.
Oh, fuck's sake, they let you have your phone?
Yeah, not my, no. In fact, you can't send text messages or phone calls after 11 p.m. on the phone they give you. But I had an unlimited movie package for like $20, I think, and I finally watched The Big Short. I was very excited about that.
How was The Big Short?
I love that movie. I bought it on Amazon Prime as soon as I got home. Love The Big Short. I watched a bunch of Marvel movies. I hadn't seen Ant-Man Quantumania. Got to check.
I haven't seen that one yet. I watched the Doctor Strange one and I hate myself.
Do you hate the Doctor Strange one?
It got too fucking wonky, and it went through a lot of work to make Scarlet Witch, who didn't need to be a villain. And then, like, the Darkhold thing was cool, but I didn't know. Darkhold, excuse me.
Yes, the Darkhold.
Getting my WoW and my
You didn't like dream walking in a corpse?
It was a little strange, honestly.
Well, what's the movie called?
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange.
Right.
What do you? It's like It's like if you watched. It's like if you watched a movie called Sodomy King, and you're like, "There's a little too much butt rape."
I didn't realize that would happen in such a film.
Right? Yeah. No.
Why didn't they put out a sign?
No, the Doctor Strange movie was strange. You're right.
Oh yeah. I just overall I'd say the first one versus this one, less impressed, less pleased.
Okay.
With this one.
Well, I had a phone. I'm already anticipating people shouting, "We don't care. Talk about jail," and we're going to. But I got a lot, man. I'm intimidated of the list I've got here. So let's start from the beginning. Yes, I had a phone. We'll get to more of that soon. You can watch movies, listen to music, text people at 13 cents a pop. That was the most expensive thing I did in there was text. I text with SP. I text with my mom. Mm-hmm. I text, and those were I wrote down 3 numbers before I went in because I don't have my contacts, obviously. My mom, my girlfriend, and my attorney. Brian Johnson, who is the best attorney I've ever had. This guy's you guys. If you
Gone
guys
through a lot, have you?
If you guys need anything, if you guys need DUI defense, help from a crazy stalker, Brian Johnson's a pit bull, man. This guy's a dog. He's great. Heller and Thien in St. Cloud or South Rapids.
I worked with Heller and Thien before for
Did
my.
You?
I did it for something really lame and gay, the whole bankruptcy thing
Sure.
because of medical bills.
Brian is an animal. He's very, very good. But when it comes to let's start from the beginning. Let me scrape up a few of these super chats. Let me try and keep up here today. You know what I think would be funny? If we missed the goal today.
I'm amazed you would think that would be funny.
I think that would be very funny.
Knock it out of the park.
Oh, okay. Believe me, I want to make hundreds of dollars. I want you guys to welcome me back. I want to feel like my audience loves me. And I want them to go, "Welcome back, Aaron. We miss you." And, $100. And you know what we really need? The memberships, obviously, after taking a week off.
Yeah.
A lot of membership expirations and no live shows for people to build the memberships back up. So memberships are great. Let me get through these. Let me keep up with the money here. And we have a 4.5-hour show. We'll have plenty of time to get to all the jail stuff. I am nervous as hell to talk about it because there's so much I do want to talk about, and I know I'm not going to get to all of it. Then we've got Candace Owens with it was fun to look at what happened while I was away because it was just a week. It was 7 days. I came in on a Friday, got out on a Friday. And Friday morning.
Incarcerated on a Monday.
Solomon Grundy. Eating pizza on a Thursday. Jail on a Friday. But we, I went in on a Friday, came out on a Friday. And a lot of shit happened. Like apparently Candace Owens got slapped with a gag order. She can't talk about Charlie Kirk, but she's still talking about Charlie Kirk. It's like violating gag orders is like the flu apparently now. This year, everybody's just violating gag orders.
This is like the second time someone's tried to stop her from because the presidency was kind of like, hey, can you stop talking about how the French president's wife might have been a dude.
might have a cock. That's why I love Candace Owens. Like the reasons she reminds me of me. The reasons she gets in trouble are so stupid. It's like Candace Owens like, hey, Candace, this is a legal matter. A judge has declared that you can't keep saying the president's the wife of France has a dick. They used.
She's like, I'll say it until she proves she does.
And then right now, I will say this. I think it's funny that Candace keeps violating that gag order. But let me tell you something. You want to piss off a judge? You want to make sure they never have your back? Go ahead and violate a gag order. See what happens. Because it's basically the judge then, like judges are smart people. They went to school. They were lawyers. They're up.
They don't want to mediate argument.
They deserve to have an ego, right? They're intelligent, like accomplished people. So when some peasant starts violating their gag order, they're like, what are you, fucking stupid? Who do you think you are? Like, you don't respect me? You piece of shit.
This is me trying to be nice, asshole.
Right. So Candace Owens has all that going on. And then also the NBA betting scandal. I want to talk about that. Yeah. That's huge. Like, the mafia's back, dude.
That was actually one of my questions. How hard was it to sit throughout the week and see news stories where you're like, oh, I wish I could have covered this. Oh my God, when it's breaking.
Yeah, there was one that I really wanted to get to. And I don't think the NBA betting one happened, like really broke until Friday morning. So I didn't have a chance. I didn't.
Wednesday night, Thursday morning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't see it in the old newspaper. So I was reading the paper every day and I'm like, holy shit, I get a lot more information reading the paper than going on all these internet sites, because the internet sites are all people's opinion and clickbait and all that. Whereas these newspaper articles are just full of information. One thing I will say, being in jail, is that we need to get rid of phones. We need to get rid of instant access to the internet. It's such a better life. I will say something. Being away from my phone, I know I have the tablet device for movies and shit. That's not really a phone. It's like a jitterbug. I mean, it's a flip phone. It's not a flip phone, but it's kind of that function.
Yeah.
We got to get rid of those phones, man. You're like, the way people communicated in jail versus the way people communicate online, they are far more well-behaved in jail.
That's scary.
Like, the human interactions are healthier.
Is it supposed to be the other way around?
Yeah. The human interactions are healthier, better, more personal, more respectful. It's pretty wild. And again, I'll tell you why I'm yammering and jumping from topic to topic, because I'm terrified today I'm not going to get in everything that I'm going to sit around this afternoon and go, shit, I forgot this. But I'm reading the newspaper. One story I wanted to get to, and we will get to it today, is this thing about, and I know, look, I kind of dropped a lot of my politics in there too. I'm not like, I know a lot of people are going to be like, Trump rules and Trump this and Trump that. I don't really care anymore. Mm-hmm. Also, being in jail look, it's not libto. We're not going to have libto, but my thoughts on the whole system that we have has been severely altered. It's a borderline. I wouldn't say it's an evil system, because I don't think it's intentional, but it's a bad system that we have.
It's designed to self-feed, which is the problem.
Bingo.
Like, it's recidivism.
It's not designed to fix a goddamn thing. And it's Ronald Reagan's fault. I've always preached that we should have brought back the state hospitals. And for me, it was because I want to lock crazy people away. And after going in, I want the state hospitals more than ever, because I'm like, holy shit, a lot of these people I was in there with could really be helped. Like, they could really have their problems solved, because it's mostly drugs and DUI, and then the things they do because of the drugs and the drinking.
Drugs and the DUI. So if we can get them off of the first one, we might
and I know they say
second altogether.
And I know they say treatment. It's not treatment. You don't need treatment. Drug abuse is a symptom. Drug abuse is not the problem. The problem is something that happened when these people were children. The problem is something that happened very young. These people need therapy.
Right. They need restrictions that keep them from the drug while they deal with the issue, so they can go back to handling life. Then you got to wait.
Fuck your drug treatment. All right. That's like the last thing. You need psychotherapy. So you open up the state hospitals. You never put these people in jail ever. You put them in these state hospitals. And then, I'm not saying you ever fix them. Addiction's rough. Most people don't kick it. But you give them a fighting chance, and maybe we don't have to deal with these people for their entire lives. But putting them in jail, it's a timeout, and then when they get out, there's nothing to stop them.
No safety rails, no restrictions.
And then you know what comes with the drug abuse? The number one thing that comes with the drug abuse is burglary. Theft.
Burglary?
A lot of guys in there, drugs and theft.
Because you got to pay for your shit.
Got to pay for your shit. A lot of it was people breaking into storage units. I'll get to all of it. Let me get to as many of these super chats as I can, because
my cellmate got accused of, or not accused, my cellmate bragged about murder. I'm like, oh yeah, when did you drop somebody? And he's like, I broke into this dude's house one time and thought I killed him and his wife. Turns out she was banging the freaking pool boy, and they blamed it all on the freaking husband. Some banker.
This is some hot shot banker, they always called him. So, like, one guy was in there. It was funny because SP and I went, when I got out, and we went and looked what people were in there for and if they were in my block. I think my block was mostly a nonviolent theft. There were some domestics, and drugs was my wing. One guy was in there for killing someone. Second degree, not premeditated, killing somebody. And she goes, was that? I go, holy shit, that guy was in there. And she goes, really? She goes, he killed a guy. I was like, I got along. I hung out with that guy a lot. He was hilarious. I loved that guy. And she's like, what? I'm like, yeah. She's like, he killed
Good thing
somebody.
that relationship went well. It could have gone a whole other way.
She's like, he killed a guy. I'm like, that guy was really nice. He was awesome. So whoever, it makes you think. You're like, wow, whoever that guy killed must have been really annoying.
The dick, yeah.
Yeah, like that guy was an asshole.
Look, I don't know who the supposed victim was, but I gotta say, after the time I spent with that guy, I'm gonna say it was their fault.
I'm blaming the victim on this one. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm a big victim blamer now because I see a lot
wearing such stabby shirts. I wouldn't have to stab you.
One of my boys, Mikey, loved Mikey. Mikey was awesome, and Mikey was one of the guys I beat in 2-on-2. He was the guy defending me, and his partner was yelling at him, screaming at him during both games that we beat them. And I told him at some point, I told his teammate, I'm like, hey man, you got to go a little easier on him. I go, I have a feeling that the only reason you're yelling at him and chat, because Mikey was about to quit. He was like, I'll leave. I was like, I feel like the only reason you're yelling at him is because I'm white and slow and I'm scoring points. It feels like an insult.
It's not fair.
It's not nice. Like, if I was black and like could jump really high, you wouldn't be yelling at him. But it's me. How are you letting the white boy score points? Well, I can, like I said, I may be 38 years old. I can still ball. Can't shoot a 3 to save my soul. But anything inside the arc, that's mine. That belongs
that's
to
your
me.
territory?
The paint is mine, bitch. So, Mikey is in there, and I love Mikey. Mikey's hilarious. He's so colorful. He's such a character. I thought Mikey was great. I find out Mikey's in there because it was arson, but it was like a specific kind. It was like arson with intent because someone was in the building at the time he set it on fire. I'm like, oh, Mikey tried to burn a motherfucker down. And it made me think, I'm like, what did that person do to Mikey? I did do, like you said, I did go like, that person had to have done something because Mikey's
that's
awesome.
a line to cross. Mikey wouldn't just go there.
Right. Mikey would never do that. And then one guy is there. We're both standing at the desk where the CO is. And the COs are great. Like, they bullshit with everybody. They're fun. I liked all those guys. One of them was really wanted to talk to me about like small town Minnesota while I was playing solitaire. And like I was trying to give him the fuck off vibe, but he's in charge. So I didn't, I was just like, nice.
I gotta have 3 games going, Mikey. Like, I got the ones with the flags, and I gotta lose my shirt to the guards, to maintain the lifestyle that I'm used to living.
I was Worm. No, they did give me 2 nicknames.
Okay.
They we were on our way to indoor rec. We were on our way to basketball, and one of them goes, "Hey, yo, man, I got a deal for you." I go, "What?" He goes, you get to pick. I want you to pick your name. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, dude, I got 2 ideas for like a nickname for you. I want you to pick one. I go, okay. And like when you're in indoor rec, there's 2 doors, right? A door leaving your cell block, and then the door going out to the hallway to go to indoor rec. And it's like a recess. And they close one door before they open the other. So there's like 15, 20 of us standing in one little area waiting for the one door to open. And so everybody's in there, and the guy goes, yo, what would you rather be called? Dwight? And I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm like, here. They thought, by the way, they were brilliant for the Dwight thing. I'm like, that is great, but like for 20 years, I've been getting Dwight. Or Radio. And I go,
Radio's not bad.
Well, I asked him, I go, why radio? Like, I asked him, I'm like the retarded Cuba Gooding Jr. He goes, no, because CO said, like, you got a radio show. So, like, there were like 4 employees during my time there that were Steel Toe viewers, followers, listeners, whatever you want to call it. And they would advertise it. At least 3 out of the 4.
They'd give you extra mashed potatoes.
They'd promote, One guy, one of the first days I was there, he kicked his toilet so much that he broke part of his toilet. So they had to take him away. And he had a mental illness. And
I was going to say, why is he kicking the shitter? What's going on?
It wasn't like a violent guy. It was just a mental health episode, and they had to restrain him and take him out of
like, I'm only going off of like Shawshank Redemption and like the fucking like Alcatraz thing and stuff like that. But wasn't that shit made out of metal? I thought those things were like
No,
units.
it's like a normal porcelain toilet, and you have a normal porcelain sink. They're not
Nice.
connected to each other or anything. So he did that, and as I'm walking up the stairs to go back to my cell for something, the employee fixing the toilet, who had been sent in to repair it, makes eye contact with me, and in my head I'm going, no, don't. And he looks at me, he goes, hey man, love the show. I'm like, oh. I'm walking up to my jail cell, and the technician fixing the shitter is like, hey man, I love your show. I'm like, we can do this at the grocery store. I'd rather we didn't do this.
You know what? Like, I'm glad he loves the show.
Yeah.
I actually have one of those. I would have loved it more if he'd been like, hey, dude, another win for the toe. And then just kind of left it there.
So then one of the ladies running Indoor Rec said, oh my God, it's you. You're the steel toe guy. And I said, yep. So then everyone's around there. And they're like, you get all these convicts now going, yo, man, you got to put me on your show. Or, yo, man, you know what you got to do? Go on your show, talk about how corrupt this person in Stearns County is and how they fucking me over. And I'm like, guys, I'm trying to behave myself. You know, I'm trying to, straight and narrow the whole thing. And he's like, yo, can I come on your show? And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I like you, but I'm doing my show from my house, and I'd rather.
Hey man, if it helps, I'll take a minor sabbatical if you got some other people you want to pull through on the roster. I heard I was getting fired for Granny a week ago, so I'm like, all right,
yeah,
let's go.
Yeah, we're in heavy negotiations. But that's the thing. All those guys in there are funny. Like, they're all great to hang out with. They're all hilarious, and it's like, looking back on it, it makes me a little sad because I'm like, these guys could have been, and still can be, a lot of them are young, can be anything. Like, they're engaging, they're charismatic, they're funny, they're friendly, they're fun guys to hang out with. I mean,
like you said, it's like the drugs thing gets in the way, and then they devolve because of it.
Yeah, and there's some stories I want to tell, but I don't want to.
But they're not my story.
I don't want to give away. I don't want to give away like people are. Yeah, I don't. No thanks. But they're all very friendly. They're all really funny. We had a great time. My role is like a facilitator of shit to do. Kind of worked out really well in there because guys didn't really do much. They'd hang out in the day room or even at Indoor Rec. They didn't do a lot. And then when I got in there, I'd be like, hey, who wants to play cribbage? And I taught a couple people how to play cribbage. So I was sick of cribbage by the time I was done, but I had people to play with. When we would be shooting around, I'd be like, hey, guys, let's start a game of 21. Or, oh, you and I versus these two guys and this and that. Like, you've hung out with me before. Like, I can't sit still. And I'm like, let's go play some bags or let's go do this or let's go. And that was a lot. Like, that was an appreciated role in there. Was like facilitating shit to do. Because people are bored.
MC of passing time.
Pretty much. But no, nobody had a problem with anyone. Well, now, obviously something happened because at one point we were in the outdoor yard playing basketball. I had two cellmates while I was there. I had like 3 nights where I was by myself, but I had a couple DUI guys that got.
So it was a bunk bed situation?
There was a weekender. There was a weekender there for DUI, and then there was another guy who got picked up for DUI that day. And both of them cool. Me and my second cellmate were out in the yard playing basketball, and they called us in, and they were like, are there any problems in there? You notice any, thing that could become a fight or anything? We're like, no. I'm like, okay, we're just checking to make sure, is everything okay with it? And we're like, yeah, no, everything's good. And like my cellmate was holding on to my pocket, and we were totally cool. And
I got a hold of the pocket over here.
So like one of the COs, like I guess there was word that maybe something was going to happen, but like everybody was fine. Everybody was cool. If it was, I was totally oblivious. I want to catch up with all these contributions. Then I'm going to try to go in order. I'm going to try to go from Thursday night before I went in. I'm going to go through all these notes, the whole deal. We are jumping around like crazy. Let's go. $2 from Joey Caravello. Says, Aaron, did you drop the soap? I'll wait. Thank you. Atomic Ray gifting 5 memberships. Bigot on Socialist Media gifting a membership. Thank you so much. And yes, gifting those memberships on YouTube and Rumble are going to be very helpful today. Thank you. Professor Tie-Dye with $1 says, welcome back, Captain Ouchie Butt. Yeah, that's not going to stick. Dub gifting a membership. Thank you very much, Dub, for the gift. Appreciated. Coltrane gifting a membership. Look at all these guys.
Thank you
Gifted
guys so
memberships over on Rumble. Let's get it back up there. Somebody did point out the Vikings were 0-2 during my stretch. Yeah, that was frustrating to watch.
So you did get to see it. I heard the score of that one game, and I'm like, oh.
I watched every minute of both.
Was it the Rams? I don't remember who.
Chargers.
But I'm like, Chargers, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't that's one where I didn't even want to hear how the game went when I'm like, I heard the numbers and the numbers are the
numbers. Mike Go with $5. Welcome back, brother. Mornings are not the same without the toe. Don't I know it, buddy? Crowder Wears Panties with $5 says, welcome back, big guy. Radman Racing with $5 says, thank God you're back. I couldn't take another day of April. I thought it was funny to put old April shows up there.
Oh,
I thought that was a funny idea. Maybe I misjudged the sensitivity. Yeah. Maybe.
I do know a couple people came into my show last week saying how they saw Corey Adam with some of them, and they were like, yeah, dude, it was nice to see Corey back.
I tried to do a show with everybody in it. Like there was a Whiskey Pete one, an Oz one, a Corey one, an
Pray
April
to God
one.
I wasn't on that roster. I get enough time as it is.
Well, they were all from 2022.
Okay.
So I don't know. $5 from Hulkamasha Baby says, so your next day in jail, if you could cut the 30 minutes of dead air on old radio shows and add more Oz, that'd be great. All right. Well, I didn't watch them. Zen Man with $5 says, welcome back. I had to watch Scammer Playback last week to fill your time slot. How long did your stash of pocket mashed potatoes last you in there? Oh, I want to say this. Fuck you guys. There were a lot of potato dishes on the inside, and I thought about all of you every time they served potatoes because they were some of my favorite meals, and I was angry at myself for enjoying them. Mashed potatoes, baked potatoes, au gratin potatoes. I was like Bubba. I was in there like, you can boil it, broil it, saute it. Potato olays, mashed potatoes. Can do it all. Fingerling potatoes.
Well, that kind of answers my question, because I had one question, like commissary shit aside, like how was the food? You know, the part that you probably were most concerned.
You know what the saddest part is?
What's that?
The food is better than like school cafeteria food.
That's really sad.
We don't feed our children as well as we feed our prisoners. And look, we don't feed our prisoners great.
So either, teach your kids to, hotwire a car, or I don't know how else we fix it.
Right.
Like,
by the time I got out, thanks to all the basketball and the food schedule, I lost 3 pounds.
Nice.
I got it all back this weekend. I could eat again. Like I could eat whatever I wanted. So I consumed 3 country fried steaks. I consumed 3 country fried steaks in one weekend. So
that's a lot, dude. That's a lot.
I had a Jimmy John's sandwich. I was excited to have a Jimmy John's sandwich. I don't
blame you.
SP picked me up from jail, and I said, I just got out of jail. I want 2 things. I want a cheeseburger, and she goes, no. And I said, I want to call a press conference. Joey Caravello with $5 says, was there any R-worders or sex offenders there? I think they probably put, I think I was in a certain,
in a different wing.
Yeah, I think I was in a certain wing. There's a rhyme or reason to it. So no, there were none of those guys in there. Everyone in there was super cool. Like I said, really fun, or just quiet and kept to themselves. Or
it wasn't until I got out that I learned that some of them did some rather audacious shit.
And I don't believe it. I have a lot more empathy for women who fall in love with prisoners in like pen pal programs, because some of them are very charismatic and very likable. And you're like, I don't believe he would do that.
I'm amazed this silver-tongued bastard didn't talk himself out of more time.
Right. Hostile Soldier gifting a membership. Thanks a ton. Redbird with $1 says the only thing that got Ard harder than the Vikings last week was your ass. That's not. I was not sodomized.
I'd like to say that Mr. Imholt put up a good fight.
There were no sisters in my cell block. Los Federales with $5 says new segment, Aaron True Jail Stories. I mean, I didn't want today's show to be all jail stuff, but if it does, whatever.
You should start pen paling some of those people on the inside. You could do that as a regular segment, like letter from a prisoner kind of deal.
That's, you know what? Not your worst idea.
I'm sure I've had worse.
Rexstart parody account with $5 says, can't believe you missed the Epstein list drop and JJ McCarthy's retirement. Don't bother now. It's old news for the rest of us. I think we're good. Okay, we're caught up on the Rumble end.
All right, good.
We are caught up on the Rumble. So let's go to the YouTube end and see what's going on there. Oh, my good Jesus, sweet monkey Christ. All right, let's... Burnside, thank you for renewing your membership. Says, we know you didn't do a single push-up in jail. I did push-ups. Not during my 1 week stay, but when I was in central booking in the holding cells, in the small one-person holding cells, I did a lot of yoga push-ups. I did a lot of the... You know when you're down on all fours? Shut up. You know when you're down on all fours, you put one arm out, you put one leg back, and then you do and you crunch? I did a lot of those because I was in the holding cell. And we'll get to this later. I was in the holding cell for a good 8 hours before I went to the cell block. Yeah, slept a lot. Let's go. Scrolling, sorry. 199 from Unnerving Brain says, all the good pickup games are in jail? Figures. Oh, God, it's so easy to find a pickup game in jail. The basketball. I was shocked as shit. Number one, when a black guy picked me to be his teammate, I think it was the height. But number two, when I was winning. I didn't lose. It's important for me to stress this. I didn't lose a single 2-on-2 game in jail. I lost some games at 21, but I didn't lose a single 2-on-2 game in jail. We held the court the whole time I was there. And I was like, holy shit. Like, maybe I found like the worst black guys in the world at basketball. But I was like, I can still fucking go. And I don't know if you know this about me. I'm not in the greatest shape anymore.
Yeah, dude. Like, that's one of the reasons I like hanging out with you, because you're an able-bodied person who makes me feel like, it could be worse.
Yeah. I Taste My Own with $5 says that's what someone who was sodomized would say. Oh, and I wasn't sodomized. That's true. I mean, someone who was sodomized would say they weren't. So I guess there's no way to know whether or not I'm telling the truth. $5 from Mussolini Diff says, good news and bad news. Good news, Aaron is back. Bad news, Johnny had to wake up early. Sorry about that.
Actually, no, I didn't have to wake up early. I was actually so excited for this show. I woke up an hour before my alarm, and I couldn't fall back asleep because I was like, I'm ready to do a show today. So, no, I didn't have to wake up early. I just did.
Gray Duckling with $5 says, what was your Selly's name? Mine was Southside. He called me Cracker. One of mine was a little Mexican fella, and the other one was a big white dude. Or seemed like he might have been part Native American. He was in there for DUI, so aren't we all? You know.
So what was the bed arrangement like? Are they bunk beds like like you see in the movies and shit? Were they comfy?
No, not at all.
Okay,
no.
So the whole actions the dude took in Law Abiding Citizen, of like burying a lawyer alive to get a better bed, was actually the right move. Okay.
My lower back is still fucked. Completely.
Oh,
fucked.
dear Lord.
It's really bad. And then the stool you have to sit on that's at the table. Stop it. Stool. We got it.
Yeah.
You have a little concrete table and you have a stool there next to your bed for writing and stuff. That's where I took all my notes. That is not good. That's not doing your back any favors. The tables in the day room, they're not doing you any favors. So
are the chairs too low or something?
And they're metal. And they're uncomfortable. And then you take that, and then you go in the indoor yard or outdoor yard, and you're playing basketball for an hour and a half. And
it's not going to help your lumbar support.
No. So it's
interesting.
My back is still super, super fucked. Archmagus Tim with $10 says, welcome back, bub. How did he know my nickname? in jail. $5 from Panhandler says, not even 250 on YouTube. You weigh more than you have viewers. Kudos. Like I said, I did lose 3 pounds. So I was very excited about that. I hope we don't have a spike today. I don't want people to just be here because I was in jail. And we have a solid core audience of about 50, 60,000 people a month. 600-700 people at a time. That's what I want. We make our money.
Regular stuff.
Right. We make our money. We do our thing. I'm happy. I don't want to see. I told SP yesterday, I'm like, if there's a fucking spike today, I'm going to be mad. I want my normal audience. I want my people, whether they love me or hate me. I just want my family. You know, I want my dysfunctional family to be watching the show. I don't want voyeurism. Either
you want to come back and kind of pick up the rhythm, not, you want to put in a bunch of layups, not just a single solid.
Either get in or get the fuck out. That's what I say. That's what I say.
Well, then I'm gone.
Skybrick with $2 says, sounds like you enjoyed yourself, had a great time. I'll put it this way. I would have rather been home doing nothing. So if you made me choose between having a good time in jail or being bored out of my fucking mind at home, I would choose being bored out of my fucking mind at home. But I had to be there.
Yeah.
And for having to be there, I had a good time. I mean, the worst parts were, you're not going to believe this. The worst part
was leaving.
The worst part was the being locked down in your cell. Like, as odd as it sounds, being away from people was the worst part. But
How long, like every day, were you locked down in the cell?
Hour and a half, 2 hours at a time, and then you were out for 2.5 hours at a time. Okay. Unless it was like indoor rec, that was a separate time. That's an extra hour and a half. Then there was a thing called education. I thought that was like classes and shit. Turns out that's just like computer lab and watching movies. I didn't go any of the 7 days I was there. One of the guys, Thursday, they all knew I was getting out. One of the guys I was hanging out with was like, "Hey man, why don't you ever go to education, man? You've never gone." And I'm like, I thought that was like parenting classes and shit. And they're like, no, we go to we play computer games and we watch movies and this and that. I'm like, you told me the day before I leave? So now I got to go back in and make sure
There's a water park over there. I find this out now.
Right? Then it annoyed the shit out of me. Let's go to just making sure. Enjoyed yourself. Okay, that's the one I left off on. $5 from Shuli Madoff says, you went to jail and Crutches is still the biggest loser. Now, Johnny, that's not nice.
That doesn't make sense.
That's actually really mean-spirited. We're having such a fun little morning and everyone's having a good time.
I'm fine.
And then we got to go with that nonsense. Mussolini Diff with $5 says, question for the Al Bundy of the jail basketball court. Did the pocket taters stay intact? If not, the players slipping on the taters help. Yeah, it was like the Mario Kart version of 2-on-2.
Every time we play him, we keep finding tater tots on the goddamn court.
It was, like I said, people are like, was it fun? And the best I can come up with is I'd rather be bored at home. But for having to be there, yeah. When I was standing in the blue circle at the desk waiting to be discharged, waiting to be released, I did have a thought. I'm like, this fucking flew by. I was trying to go back in my head and go day by day, and I couldn't break it down by day. Mm-hmm. If that makes sense. Like, I was like, Jesus Christ. Like, I feel like I just came in here getting checked in. Like, while you're there, while you're going through it, it doesn't feel like it's going by that fast. But I think literally like everything in life, once it's over, you're like, wow,
it seems like it went by a lot faster than it did.
Yeah. $1 from Approachable says, I believe you when you said you didn't do push-ups, but I'm very disappointed in you. It's extremely obvious you weren't doing your chin exercises while you were in there. No, I wasn't. You're right. I got to get back to that. I do those while I'm driving. Redbird with $1 says, looking back, April went from an average but serviceable host to holy fuck, how did we not string your ass up for forcing her on us? Probably the part where you banned anyone critical of her. Ouch. $5 from Joey Caravello says Aaron now has Brooks was here carved into his ass.
That one wasn't bad.
Can't say that wasn't funny. Can't say the guy wasn't funny. Thank you guys very much. So I think we're all caught up with those. 195 is the number for today. Somebody was saying in the chat before the show, and I thought it was really funny. They're like, how great would it be if you didn't hit the goal today? And there are two things where I'm like, this would be hilarious. One, if we didn't hit the goal on the day I come back. I mean, hilarious. I would still be, I'd be pissed, but I would appreciate the humor in it.
Mm-hmm.
And also, what was it?
Wow.
God damn it. We hit the goal. If we don't hit the goal, I think that would be funny. What was the other thing somebody brought up? I was trying to bring up this thing I wanted to make sure I talked about, and I totally lost my train of thought.
Yeah, now I have no idea what you didn't mention anything to me, so I got nothing to go on.
I think it would be really funny. I'd be pissed, but it would be really funny. Oh, if we didn't hit the goal and we didn't have any $100 donations today. Because, to me, a $100 donate, there were $100 donations when I left, like, hey, man, take it easy, blah, blah, blah. I feel like $100 welcome backs. If I don't get one of those and we don't hit the goal, and I think they go hand in hand, in a way.
Right.
I think that would be very funny. Again, would I be annoyed? Yeah. But I would appreciate the humor in it. Most overdoses happen because of addicts getting out of jail with no tolerance and taking too much to celebrate their freedom. I would believe that.
Yep.
I would believe that. Breaking news, local OBS misunderstander gives reassurances his anus remains unencumbered despite cocoa butter smell, claims cribbage title. Oh, I cannot claim the cribbage title. I taught people how to play cribbage.
And you got schooled?
And one of them, I didn't beat him until like the third or fourth time I played him. He's fucking killing me. I was getting a little annoyed. I was ready to start cheating like my grandma used to. If we started beating my grandma in cribbage, she'd just cheat.
Really?
Dirty, man. Yeah.
Fucking old lady was not having it. That was her game. She
Nope.
wasn't. You got youngins got so much on her. She's like, no, this is the one thing. Like hell or high water. I'm not giving this up. Grandma wins cribbage.
People are trying to figure out who the Mikey is. No, it's not this person who tried to, what is it? Stealing a laptop from a South Minneapolis clinic and then strangling a female member of the. No. I hope you didn't give out your address or phone number to your bunkmates. No, I did not. Skybreak with $2 says, you idiot. Weren't you supposed to lose at everything? I mean, if I'm running like the worm gimmick in Rounders, I'm supposed to lose everything.
Just keep the lifestyle, you're accustomed to.
Keep the lifestyle that I've, become accustomed to living. Right. Let's, so I guess, okay, good. We're all caught up. Everybody hit like, hit subscribe, hit share, all that good stuff. And we got over 600 before 7 o'clock. See, I'm going to get fucking mad. Because we're going to be at 700 before 7 o'clock hits. And 700 is a solid peak for us.
Mm-hmm.
If we hit 900 today, I'm going to be fucking mad.
Maybe it's just maybe all the regular people that filter in on their time today made an extra special effort to.
That is, I told SP.
Maybe like me, they just kind of woke up rearing to go.
I told SP if we peak out at 800, that's still enough to beat everybody else. But it also, I can justify it as all of the people who watch later tuned in live today. And that's okay. Yeah. If it's over 900, I'm going to be fucking infuriated because that's just gawking. Wow. I don't want gawking. We hit 1,000, I'm shutting it off.
All right, now I just want to hit 1,000.
I'm shutting the show off.
Just to hold you to that. I'll be like, hey, dude, it's at 1,000. Time to go. Shut it down.
Oh, man. Veldrain with $1 says, a McDonald's employee Christmas party where you can't go home and some people kind of speak English. Is this what jail was like? No. Most of the people spoke English. In fact, I think there were two guys there were two guys in there that spoke Spanish, and one of my cellmates actually translated for them.
Oh, nice.
You know. We have all right. I'm just trying to make sure I've got everything before we talk about jail type stuff. So let's okay, we got everybody. Everybody's good. Everybody on Rumble's good. So let's start at the beginning. And then as we need to clear out super chats and Rumble rants, Venmo, PayPal, all that stuff, we'll take breaks and get in there. So Thursday, let's start at Thursday, the day before I go to jail. My daughter has volleyball. SP and I, we took all the kids out to a pizza place. And we did the old school order a pizza in advance and then dine in. Like, who does dine in at a pizza place anymore?
Shit, most of them don't even have the option.
Right? So we found a pizza place where there's dine in, and we went to the pizza place and we all sat down. We ordered a few pies and a few breadsticks, and it was nice. We had a nice family pizza night. Then we went to volleyball, and they don't let you in to watch the practice at volleyball. So my son and I brought a football into the school where the volleyball's at. And then in the cafeteria, we just threw the football around. The rest of us did a little walking tour around the school and waited for volleyball to get done. Coolest thing happened. If you're a parent with a kid in any kind of sport, coolest thing happened. My daughter gets out of volleyball, and she says, yeah, Dad, my serving was way better. We've been working on her serving. She goes, my serving was way better. And the coach was telling me, like, hey, don't, because she like has this thing where she would go from here. She wouldn't come like around and serve. And so when she wouldn't go around, the coach would go, don't hold your hand up here. Make sure you go back first. And she goes, and I told my coach, yeah, my dad's been working on that with me. And I'm like, yeah, there it is.
Bam.
There it is. So, we had volleyball. That was nice. We went home. We had snacks. We watched movies. We did the whole thing. Went to bed, woke up in the morning, and I did a little 3-hour Rumble Friday farewell show for everybody. Thank you guys very much for making that as fun as it was. Then I went up. I made breakfast. We hung out for a few hours, and I was kind of shocked at how fine I was. I was not looking forward to going in. You got to remember, this is before, the tablets and the basketball and all. All I'm thinking is I'm going to jail. And I thought I was going in for longer than I did. I went in for a week. It was supposed to be 8 days, and it turned out to be barely 7. And they weren't counting time. They were counting days. That's why I got released on day 8. I didn't serve 8 days. I served 7 days, 6.5 technically. And they let me go at 5 a.m. on the 8th day. I thought that it was going to be whatever time I checked in.
And then start the clock.
So I got in early. I got in like 11:30. And they let me out at 5 a.m. I had until 3 p.m. to check in. So I went in
they had a check-in window?
Yeah, I had. I came in 3.5 hours early. So I gave them a free 3.5 hours. Stupid. I will say this. You know how I said I was 50-50 on whether I wanted to serve it all at once versus weekends?
Yeah.
Like they both had their benefit. I am so glad I did it this way. Because like I would have just gotten out this morning at like 4:30. For this would have been my second weekend. And then I'd be looking at going back again this coming weekend. Ugh.
Right.
And then the next one. Well,
so it was really just a lot easier to just get in.
Everybody who said that was
thing.
Absolutely right. You got to just do the whole thing all at once. I mean, I was annoying the COs because I had so many questions about getting out Friday because it was one of those things where I was like, this is fantastic, amazing news. And I need to hear it from like 4 people before I believe it. And so I was kind of asking them lots of questions and they were very nice, very polite. So Friday morning, it wasn't until the kids left that I got a little choked up. Once the kids, I think there was like a distraction in there. And then once the kids were gone and it was just SP and I was starting to be like, oh, this is, I had the Henry Hill thing going on where I just wanted to take the couple of pills and, okay, take me to jail. I was just at that point,
Let's do this.
Yeah. So I didn't want to leave a vehicle there for a week, obviously. So SP takes me to the county jail, and I told her I don't go in because it's literally just going to be me checking in and then waiting to get booked in. So she was having a bit of a tough time. I was like, to me, man, I was just kind of resigned to it. I'm like, okay, this is my reality. This is what I'm doing. So,
I mean, honestly, it's the smartest decision. It's not like you're going to change it now.
right. So I'm just kind of like, yeah, I'm going in.
Let's just do this.
And by the time we got there, I was fine, but I was kind of like consoling her and like kind of trying to help her through it, And she was having a difficult time. So I sat there in the car for a while. I think we got there like 11, and I left the car at like 11:30. We sat outside the building for a while. And I went up there. I checked in. I didn't bring my phone with me. I didn't want a lot of stuff. So I left my phone, my wallet, my keys with her, and I went in. Well, I sat there for like an hour and 15 minutes, like in this state of limbo, not free, not in jail. Now, technically, my time had started, but I'm sitting out in this lobby area in the county services building. Like, I'm not handcuffed. I'm not anything like that. I'm just sitting there. So I'm like, God damn, I wish I would have brought my phone. I'd be playing some Royal Crush, or I'd be dicking around on the phone or something, whatever. So I'm sitting there. Finally, look, if you're a fan of the show, you're not going to care. But if you don't like me, you're going to hate this part. I went and by the way, which is on you, I went and grabbed a Bible and I just started reading the Gospels, starting at Matthew. Okay. And I'm like, this will kill some time. Bible, I don't know if you know this. Bible's a big book. New Testament, not as big as the Old. The Gospels, not as much as the Old Testament, but plenty of reading to be done there. So I start reading Matthew, and I didn't get all the way through. Or did I? I don't think I got all the way through. I read more once I was in, like during lockdown times, but I don't think I got through Matthew there. But I mean, I was, God damn, man, I had to take breaks. It was taking so damn long. And I'm like, well, I don't want to. And then part of me was like, why don't I go do a lap around the building? Why don't I go walk around the building? I'm not sure I was allowed to, but I thought about it. And then I'm like, well, what if they call me to come take me out of there? And then I'm walking around the building. It's going to, like, is that an escape? I don't know.
Did they have church services while you were there? Did you go to church services?
They didn't announce them.
Okay.
They didn't announce them. I don't know if they did or not, but no, I didn't. They didn't say anything about it. But like on my phone, I had a Bible and I had some religious stuff in the apps that were on the phone that I had. So I go in. So on Friday, they bring me in, and it was the only time that I was handcuffed. They bring you in, and when they bring you through the metal detector, and they bring you through to pat you down at the check-in at Central Booking, you wear handcuffs for about 30 to 60 seconds. You get them on, they get you through there, they do that, and then they take them off.
Take them right back off?
Yeah, so you do all that, you give out your possessions. I had money that I wanted to put in my canteen to begin with. They take the booking fee out of that, and then you go to Central Booking. Central Booking is 1,000% the worst part of the whole thing. Central Booking is boring as hell. It's shit. You can hear the crazy people who have mental problems down the hall in Central Booking. Because Central Booking is just like everybody who got picked up.
Everybody's there. It's almost
Everybody's
like Gen
there.
Pop.
No, Gen Pop is different because the cell block you go into is very specific to kind of what you did.
Okay, well, so wait, so the like Gen Pop is just that block and not like everybody?
Gen Pop is your cell block. So you have a lower tier and an upper tier. I was in upper tier. For a couple hours, lower tier goes out into the day room. Then upper tier goes out into the day room. General population is when you go into your cell block. That's when both tiers are out. That's general population. That mealtime is general population. Central booking is different. That's central booking. That's where you go before you get put somewhere or released, whatever you're in there for. So central booking was me just feverishly trying to fall asleep. And that's when I did some push-ups. I did some yoga crunches. I exercised. I did some DDP yoga ignition stuff and shit like that. And I would fall asleep. I think I fell asleep for like 2 or 3 hours the first time. The food in central booking
not so good.
And I fucking hated the audience. I had to eat dinner in central booking. So I got into central booking at about 1. And then I didn't get into cell block B until 9:30ish.
Oh, dear Lord.
Yeah. So I was in there for about 8.5 hours. The first meal, baked potato and sweet potatoes.
That's it?
And there was some cornbread.
I was gonna say,
thing.
it's a lot of starch to stuff you up on.
There was some cornbread, and then it wasn't pineapple chunks. It was like pineapple skins floating in water. It was horseshit. It's terrible. And they don't have any. It's not like the cell block where you have vending machines and soda machines and all that. You can eat whatever you want. This was you eat this or you don't eat. And I love potatoes. So I ate the potatoes, but I hated all you guys while I was eating the potato. I don't like that I thought of this audience while I was in central booking eating potatoes. Every bite, I was like, oh yeah, I get. Like I'm. It's like when you see a guy locked in solitary and he's talking to himself.
Yeah,
that was me. Like
you were that guy.
Every potato bite I ate, I went, I fucking get it, guys. Tater pockets. Tater toe. So then,
other people thought I was crazy.
Nova's having a weird day. Everything I'm saying is a lie. Apparently, Nova's one of those guys. I need to have had a certain experience in jail, and I was excited for this part. I was like, God, when I tell people about what happened in jail, some of them are just going to be incensed. Some of them are just going to be angry. But I don't know. I'm one of those guys who's always going to try and make the best of whatever I'm doing. I don't really wallow. That's not my thing. But he says, you checked in at 11 a.m. Right. I didn't get into the actual jail until about 12 something. But yeah, 11:27 was my check-in time. But you go up to a desk, you go up to a lady behind a window and you go, hey, I'm here to check in for my time. And they go, okay, have a seat over. You basically sit in a waiting room. And I sat in a waiting room for about an hour and a half or so.
Most of the people who are going to run don't check in. So they kind of trust you when you show up and you go, hi, I'm here to do my bit.
Nobody goes in and goes, I'm here to go to jail. And they're like, just fucking with you. So I go into central booking and then I get out for a while. That's where I meet my first steel toe fan, luckily an employee, not a resident. And we're talking a little bit and, he's got to ask me the questions like, are you going to hurt yourself? Are you going to this? Are you going to have you drank or anything? I thought about that. And I thought about should I go have a couple of drinks before I go to jail? And I went, no, because I don't know if that's going to fuck you over. I don't know if that's a problem. It's not that important to me. It's a week. I'll be fine. That's the other thing. When I got out, I didn't crave booze. I didn't want to drink.
I think I've been drinking too much water. I suddenly have to use the restroom. I apologize.
Oh, how dare you?
Yeah,
so
it's weird.
So I'm in central booking. And then hours and hours and hours go by, and it is wildly uneventful. There's one young lady who's having a difficult time. She's screaming about water, and she's pounding on the door of her cell. And it's amazing when you're in central booking for long enough and you're just bored and you have nothing to do. The sound of someone banging on the door, having a mental breakdown in central booking, you try to create music to it. You try to create a rhythm, or in my case, I was trying to create a backstory for this person, because you're doing anything, they say in Shawshank, you do anything to keep your mind occupied. When you're in central booking, it is anything you can do to keep your mind occupied. So then eventually 9 something comes around and it's time to get booked in the jail cell in cell block B East. They take in, you strip down, you gotta bend over and cough, you gotta lift your balls, you gotta do all of that stuff. So that's another reason I'm glad I did it all at once. I think you have to do that every time if you do weekends. And then changed into the clothes, got my radio. You get a little radio with headphones, and what that radio has is a frequency that the TV is on. There's 2 TVs in the day room, and you put your radio headphones in, and then you can watch TV. Got my radio, got my headphones for my phone or tablet, whatever you want to call it. Got your tote, your carrying tote with all your mattress and all your stuff in it. And then you go into the cell block. Lower tier was out, but they let me make my bed, do all of that stuff. And then they let me come down, load up my canteen card, do the vending machines if I wanted to, whatever. But it's like 9:30. I'm fucking tired. I turned on, I think, Avengers Endgame, and I went to bed. That was day 1. Day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, day 7, they all kind of run together. So really, it's going to be super chat questions that kind of narrow down specifics, and it's all going to kind of be focused on what you want to know. But my favorite things in there were the movies. I probably watched The Big Short 3 times. Being able to watch football, and then the basketball season starting. ESPN in the morning, all the morning talk shows where they talk about how dog shit the Vikings are. That was great. Basketball played outside first. The outside basketball court had no net. That was the first thing. That was the first thing that bothered me, but also made me go, "Hey, asshole, you're in jail." That's how this works. I will say that the outside basketball was okay, but there were no games outside. It was just kind of shoot around. Indoor rec was way better. They have a fucking nice basketball court there. Like their indoor basketball court is like that, you know, that synthetic, like that rubber kind of the pieces. You know, sometimes you'll see it at like hotel basketball courts or whatever. Really nice, like brand new looking basketball court.
I assume they didn't have a pool table.
No, they had ping pong. They had, or as the Chinese call it, ping pong. Basketball, ping pong, weight room. They had a barber, but I didn't get my hair cut in jail. I got my hair cut yesterday. I didn't want to. Pull-ups. Bags. They had bags there. I didn't want to call it cornhole while I was there. Also, I will say this to people who have never been on the inside. Stop thinking it's movies and TV. It is zero.
Well, yeah, but you were also in jail. How many movies and TV?
I feel
like movies and TV lean way more on the prison side of stuff.
Yeah, you're right.
They portray everything as that.
You're right. But there were even people telling me "Oh no, Aaron, jail is sometimes even worse than prison." And I'm like, guys, and then you have people who work there who are fans of the show messaging you, and they're like, dude, it's not. It's you're fucking in the day room most of the day. You got education.
You got been in detention. It's like that only all day long.
It's funny. I did say that to someone. I'm like, this is like being in ISS in high school in an odd way. You know, I again, the food, I cannot stress this enough. We feed our children worse.
We do dog shit to our kids, but if you burn down a building, oh boy, is there at least a nice meal on the other end of that.
I mean, it's not great compared to food on the outside, but it's better than the shit we feed our kids. That is not good.
Did they have any Italian dunkers while you were in there?
I didn't have Italian dunkers. We did have taco day. It wasn't Tuesday. I think it was Thursday. We had tacos.
So that must have been
nice. Or taco salad. whatever.
Do
it
the
was.
people now? Obviously, I'm again thinking of prison versus is there like an actual like food staff, or do the people?
No,
like
they bring in trays. I'm sure there's a kitchen somewhere where they're putting this shit together,
Right.
but they wheel in trays.
Oh, I was curious if they had like an actual like if you worked the kitchen staff kind of deal if you were in the prison or jail.
I didn't see any. No, I didn't.
Yeah. Okay.
There's trustees. There's people that like really good behavior that like mop the floors and they do work and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But no, I didn't see any.
Okay.
I didn't see any kitchen folk. You know, it was. Yeah. I mean, it was not the most difficult. You know, compared to like what you hear about jail and stuff like that. That now people, I see people writing already. They're like, it's bullshit. Jail is bullshit. It's this and that. It still is a fucked up system. I felt bad for so many people that were in there. Like you talk to these guys, and all jokes aside, some of these guys just don't belong in a jail cell. Some of these guys need serious help, and they're not getting it in jail. And and you may say, oh, fuck them, criminals. And what's that? I thought of that Dostoevsky quote in Con Air quite a bit. I want to pull it up real quick. It's a degree, something about a degree of civilization. Yeah. The degree of civilization in a society can be judged by entering its prisons. America is fucked. Like, there are two things I learned in jail, one from reading the paper, one from observing people. Number one, our economy is about to crash. Plan accordingly. Number two, when I read about the auto loan delinquencies going through the roof and Target's about to lay off a shitload of people, those are both good indicators that the middle class is falling apart.
Oh, shit. I hadn't heard Target's going to lay off. This is because we're closing in on fucking Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Christmas season around the corner.
Yeah.
You wouldn't hear about layoffs now.
Yeah, it's bad. So I learned that we're going to have an economic collapse, and also that we are like, there's a reason we imprison more people than any other country times like 5. We have 5 times the prison inmate population. Even per capita, it's way higher than everyone else. And to me, the reason is pretty simple. All we do is we stash these people away until we have to let them out and they can go fuck up again.
Right. Anyone who doesn't stay with inside the lines, you get jail and or prison, and then rinse, repeat.
There was one guy I taught how to play cribbage, and we would play cribbage and we would talk a lot. And he would talk about, his stuff and what he did. And it was meth and it was robbery. And he'd talk about the women he hung out with and the people he hung out with. And this guy would say he just gets so frustrated and he'd go, I have to stop. Like, I can't screw up again. I can't do this. It hurts my mom. It hurts my girlfriend. It hurts this person. It hurts that person. And your heart bleeds for the guy. And he goes, I'm moving to Minneapolis when I get out of here because I got to get away from the people I know because I'll get in trouble and I can't fuck up anymore and this and that. And I'm watching, and these guys who they've got drug problems, they've got meth problems. What you'll see them do is they'll try to mix every caffeinated drink possible to try and give themselves the biggest fucking shot in the arm.
Boost and high that they can get. They're used to needing something.
Right. So I'm like, this ain't working. Like, this ain't helping. So I talked to this guy, and the more I talk to this guy, the more I learn. And the more I talk to other people who it was a lot of their problem was drugs kind of being the gateway to more crime. I was going, these guys, like, it's so clear what the problem is here, and it's so clear how to treat the problem. We act like it's this big secret, like, well, if we don't do jail, what are we supposed to do? There was a part of me that my political opinion on crime and punishment changed to, outside of severe violent crime, I do feel we should abolish prison. I do feel we should abolish the incarceration system, at least how it stands now. I did think of one thing that Sean, potentially criminal, said that I have to call him on this. He's 1,000% wrong. He's 1,000,000% incorrect. He said we lock people up because we're afraid of them, not because we hate them. As someone who has been there, That is the most delusional, naive statement I have ever heard. Our jails.
None of these people were into it.
I'm not afraid of any of these people.
Well, of course not, Larry Bird. You could see over all of them.
They were my basketball buddies. But these are people, especially the people in there for drugs and the things that stem from drugs. They need therapy. They need a doctor. They need someone to talk to them about their childhood, about the way they were brought up. Because one thing about therapy, when you do it right, you don't know until someone kind of makes you talk about it and brings it out of you why you are.
Goes, hey, that's fucked up.
And you go, well, wait, yeah. And it clicks with you. And you're like, oh, shit, yeah. That's something that was passed down from my dad, from his dad, from that guy's dad, from that. And you got to be the one to break that kind of behavior. These guys need therapy because I don't think they even know why they do what they do. Their drug problem is not their problem. Their problem is something else. The drugs are a symptom. The drugs are a coping mechanism. We don't need to be locking these people up for drugs because I'm just guaranteeing you're going to see them again. The saddest part was talking to this guy and him wanting to get better and knowing he wouldn't. Like I didn't.
You knowing he wouldn't, or
yeah,
he knew he
me knowing he wouldn't. Because I was like, I was hanging out with the guy. I was talking to him. I'll tell you right now, he was a good kid. This is not a bad guy. We got to stop acting like everybody who's in there is a bad guy. They're not. A lot of these people, like all of the brothers I would play basketball with, a different environment, a different
Solid
atmosphere,
dudes.
a different. I'm serious though. A different upbringing, a different atmosphere. These guys are great salespeople. These guys are great marketers. These guys are entrepreneurs. They're what some of the things I heard them talking about. I was like, God, if you could channel this to something different, you'd be remarkably successful. Because every one of them, engaging, friendly, they didn't want anything. They weren't hustling you. They weren't trying to get something out of you. They just want to kill the time. They want to serve their time. They're funny. They're engaging. They could get along well in a workplace environment. They don't get away from the drugs, and then they do stupid shit like assault and theft and all these other things. So when I say it was all Reagan's fault, that closing down the state hospitals, I mean, I don't think we should be putting how long someone's incarcerated into the hands of a judge, because I don't think they know. I think we ought to put it in the hands of doctors. I think these people, all nonviolent offenders need to go to a mental health facility where they are incarcerated. They can't just leave, but they're sentenced to a mental health facility, not for a certain amount of time, but until a doctor says, we've worked through things. This person is no longer a threat, not to society, but to themselves.
Right.
This person is not a danger to themselves, or at least is the least dangerous they've ever been to themselves. And I stamp it. They're allowed to leave or
Right.
something like that, because the
But
way
didn't we have issues with that in the first system that the Reagan closed down? Not that his solution was the right one, but weren't there some issues with like you get in and you can't necessarily get out and that
Probably.
kind of thing, and
probably
the
And-
one flew over the cuckoo's nest style shit.
Right. And there's levels and there's issues, and I'm not, let me preface this with, I'm not smart enough to fix this. I don't know what the solution is. I just know that we need to all be brainstorming different ideas, because
What we have right now is shit.
what we're doing is not good at all. It's a bad system. And I was a little libto. My heart bled for some of these people. Some of them are just fucking around. Some of them are just causing trouble. But you can tell a lot of these people, you're like, there's something there. You can see it. Something happened to them. And if we could get
Somebody did this to you.
well, but if we could drill down to the core of that, again, I'm not saying everybody can be saved. I'm not saying everybody would stop committing crime or get off drugs. Addiction is a bitch, and most people fail. Most people stay addicted the rest of their lives and use the rest of their lives. But I know that if you go with the jail and prison system, I'll guarantee you they're either going to fuck up again or get worse. What we're doing now doesn't work, because I would talk to some of these guys and you're just like, you're watching them struggle and you're like, you shouldn't be here. Like you don't, this is doing nothing for you. And
other than kind of just putting you in a holding pattern.
yes.
And then, like I said, recidivism and for-profit prisons are kind of set up in a way that it kind of just like it keeps feeding itself. It's it's like swimming against the current. It's not impossible, but oh boy, is it not easy.
It's not an evil system. A lot of people say it's evil. I believe in order to be evil, there has to be an intent to
Right.
what you're doing. I think this is just a system born out of ignorance. This is a system made by people who aren't qualified to know how human beings work, how their brains work, and how to. I really do think doctors and psychiatrists should be more involved in the crime and punishment system than they are. Because
He
right
goes to the
now,
hearing and he packs his ass full of peanut butter.
now that guy was creative. He would have been something on the outside if he would have
Just focused.
channeled that to the right place. But there's so many of those guys. I thought about that line in Malcolm X where he talks about the system that black men get into and how it breeds criminality. And Malcolm X is talking. He goes, West Indian Archie could have been a mathematical genius, but he got caught up in this system that we're in. And it's true. I saw so many of these guys, and I'm like, if they channeled this anywhere else, like they have ideas, they have
Places it
theories.
could take them.
Smart, some of them, like legit smart guys. Like sharp guys who know some shit. But it's what they choose to use that how they choose to use that intelligence. So that was really, when you see the waste of human potential up close, I dare it not to change you. People are like, did you learn anything in jail? I learned a lot about myself, but also about how we do things. And that system is just completely broken. And it's not performing a service. Because you got to think, and it's easy to say, fuck them, fuck them, they're in jail. I was like that. But you also realize that this affects you and I as well. Like if we don't fix these guys, our world is a more dangerous place.
Right. These people still live in it. We're better off with them being better people.
Right. So there was that part. And then the other part of me was like, the other thing I learned from jail was we gotta, like as a people, there is some stuff that incarcerated people know better than you. And it's easy to be arrogant because you're not in there. But you guys all, me, you, everybody who's maybe online too much, we're done. We're cooked. We're heading for a fall. And I mean, as society, you're all kind of sociopaths. It's over. Like, unless you start putting that phone down,
You got to unplug.
we're not coming back from this. We're done.
Well, it's easy for you to say. Every day you had like 2 hours of mandatory touch grass time.
My mental health in jail was good.
This is about to be.
Was great. I didn't have like notifications on my phone that I felt like I needed to respond to. I didn't have notifications of bullshit that I didn't have shit I was scrolling through just to keep me busy. I didn't have shit that I was just doing out of habit because I was fucking bored. I filled my time with shit. I sat down, I took notes. I was present in where I was, even if that was jail. I was present. I got home. I didn't want my phone. Since I've been home, when I come down here to do anything, or I'm upstairs doing anything, or I'm doing dishes, or I'm out shopping or anything, when SP and I went out to dinner, I left my phone at home. I didn't want it. And I was present for the entire dinner, and you don't need to check the time. There's nothing on your phone that you need. Literally nothing on here you don't need it.
Well, I think.
How many times do we take our phone out during something, we go like that just to look at what time it is? And then you see
You see a notification.
Knock it off. Stop it. I thought about it today. I only kept the phone close today for the show because I knew a lot of people were going to be writing in. I wanted to, make sure I got to everybody.
And stuff, yeah.
But I'm leaving this fucking thing upstairs. Like when I do stuff now, I have a rule. I can check my phone for texts and phone calls. And then I have to leave it alone for 3 hours. And that's what I've been doing since I've been out. I had a moment where I didn't, I had like a segment of 3 hours where I didn't have my phone near me. And I literally felt my muscles being lighter and more relaxed. And I wasn't thinking about anything. I was present in what I was doing. The minute I literally just brought my phone closer to me, I felt more tense.
Yeah, I think that's a you thing. Really, I don't get tense around my phone, but I will say I think we need to disconnect a lot from the internet and the devices and stuff, just because it's very, very noticeable how we as a society, we don't retain actual information because we expect everything to be pulled up on our fingertips. So it's, as a whole, it's making us more making us more retarded.
Here's the saddest thing is I thought about talking about this while I was in jail. Well, I thought about talking about it on the show. I'm like, I'm just going to get pushback. People are going to get mad. They're going to insult me. And that's because they're defensive. They don't want to give up what they think is a good thing.
I love my Candy Crush.
I'm going to criticize this, and people are going to get fucking pissed at me like the little girls. They always get mad. They always cry, and I'm a bad man. But I'm right and you're wrong.
Okay.
That shit is killing you. I think, who was it? Michael Knowles called it a portal to hell. 1,000%. 1,000%. I would say getting off the internet is a great thing. I read newspapers, and like I said, I learned more about the world. There were like 4 articles. None of them were Joe Rogan is an asshole. None of them was, did you hear what Brendan Schaub did? None of them was what some retard said about some other retard. It was shit I needed to know.
Right, but no offense, can't you get that, like, can't you look for that information online? Granted, you have to, wade through the fucking weeds of Joe Rogan said and Brendan Schaub's an asshole. But, like, can't you still access that information?
It's online? What the algorithm feeds, though.
Oh, I see.
It's that algorithm. That algorithm, and it's everywhere now. It feeds. You're right. If it was just you looking shit up, then that's a you problem, 100%. But now we have this reinforcing loop.
I get you.
Of shit. And it's designed to be that way. Google wants it to be. You think Google wants to feed you articles about how the auto loan?
Oh, they don't want you informed?
Right. Their algorithm isn't going to feed you the auto loan business is falling apart. Did you know that a major auto part and auto loan holder went bankrupt last week?
The auto parts king?
Not Ray Zelinsky. No, he's fine.
All right.
But a major car loan holder went bankrupt because they were trying to hide. It was due to fraud. They were trying to hide the fact that these loans were delinquent and that the loan business was not going well and that working people are having a hard time paying for their vehicles, which is a bad sign for the economy. It's not that different from what we were doing to hide what was wrong with the housing market back in 2008. Now, granted...
Yeah, but the housing market got propped. Okay, yeah.
We're not at that point with the auto industry. Who says we won't? I mean, we bailed out the auto industry once before.
Yeah, I really hope we don't do that again. So now if this loan thing goes under, if they go bankrupt, does that mean the people that owe them money are like, well, lucky me?
Because that's if the banks go out of business. Because somebody's going to buy up that debt.
Of course.
Like, you're still going to owe that money to somebody. So, no, unfortunately, it's not going to be like Fight Club.
Ain't that always the way of it?
I love the point of Fight Club. They're like, if we blow up these buildings, it erases all credit card debt. It's like, motherfucker, that shit's stored in so many places. Like, you're not blowing up.
That's why Mr. Robot proved you also have to get the hard copies. You got to, and sometimes that means.
So, yeah, I mean, look, that Dostoevsky quote, a degree of civilization can be measured by observing its prisons, is 1,000% correct. And I'm here to tell you guys, unless you drop your fucking arrogance because you hate the toe guy, I'm telling you now, we're on our way out. We are in end stage capitalism right now.
I think it's been end stage capitalism for most of my life. But
here, Johnny, buy seeds.
Oh, believe me.
I'm not at that point.
I've got an entire prepper room ready to go. No, but that was what the Dostoevsky quote thing, though. You're kind of saying almost we've reached the point where it's the opposite, where it's like we're almost more like our society's almost better in the incarcerated areas than it is outside of it.
No, it's not better. I learned more.
Okay.
It was nice to have the different perspective.
All right, it's just you'd mentioned again the like
I went to a place where I was forced to not have a phone for 7 days.
Okay.
A smartphone. I didn't have a smartphone for 7 days. And it felt really good. I turned on my phone after 7 days, and there was nothing on there that I needed. Like, of what I missed in the last week, there was an appointment I have for orientation with my probation officer and an interview that I booked that we scheduled our date. But again, all of that waited till I got out. There was
all fine.
Oh, and I forgot to hit run payroll before I left. So I ran payroll about 1 day late. But other than that,
way to go, dick.
Sorry, I ran that 1 day late. I still think payroll's going to hit on the same day, but there was nothing that was necessary. There was nothing pressing for time. There was nothing. It's all voluntary. None of you are as important as you think you are, and if we don't change, you're fucked and you're dead.
Well, like I again, a lot of people younger than us might not remember this time, but I clearly do. We grew up with the phone still attached to the fucking wall.
Right.
So the idea that you need this, I clearly remember a time where society, we got along just fine and these things didn't exist.
You know what the worst...
Like, let alone not connected, not serviced, no, they were not a thing. You could not call somebody unless you found a phone.
Two of the worst things that ever happened to us. Unlimited talk and text and unlimited data.
Thank you, Verizon.
We were better when you had to... I think it's good. I will tell you one thing I learned in jail. You can take your libertarianism and your freedom and shove it up your ass. I think freedom has caused us a lot of our problems. I think
like humans can't control themselves and they almost need certain guidelines.
Any system created by man will inevitably collapse.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's authoritarianism, whether it's freedom, you need to find the balance between these two things because humanity left to its own device will kill itself. Libertarianism, let me tell you, is a fucking joke. Because here's what libertarianism is for. Really, really smart people. Most libertarians I know are fucking stupid. Libertarianism is great if we have one of those Jetsons, fucking everybody wearing the powdered wigs and sitting on floating thrones human beings. But we're lard-eating dipshits, and we can't be trusted with the freedoms we have.
Okay. So you want us all to be incarcerated now? Is that it?
Yeah. Lock them all up. No, it's more, I believe we should have freedom. I believe people should be free. I'm being a bit hyperbolic. I guess what I'm saying is people should be allowed to be free, but I'm telling you right now, we're going to fuck it up and we're going to bring everything burning down with our freedom.
The sad truth is humanity needs guardrails.
Yes.
Because you guys can't do it on your own. It's not a criticism of you specifically. It's
right.
Us as a whole.
It's humanity as a whole. It's our programming. It's not a bug. It's a feature. That's just how we are. We will do that. Humanity needs guardrails. I think that's a great way to put it. I was watching 60 Days In. SP and I decided it would be funny if we watched 60 Days In yesterday. And one of the guys in 60 Days In said, well, they were talking about criminal justice reform. Like, people should be free to do whatever they want. And I paused it. I went, fuck no. People should not be allowed to do whatever they want. He was talking about like drugs and stuff like that. One thing I learned from being inside, yes, drugs should be fucking illegal. Maybe alcohol should be too.
Here's the problem. Like on this, I have a very kind of point of perspective. I feel like it's not that drugs should be illegal. It's that we need to have a very understanding that there are plenty, and I mean like all of us, and it's not again, it's not a personal criticism, it's a genetic thing. There are some people who are just genetically wired that if this substance crosses your threshold, it's like and your brain is rewritten and you got to keep pushing that button, and people can't stop doing that. It's like cats with catnip. Every cat on the planet loves catnip. It doesn't matter what cat they are. They love it in some way, shape, or form. They can't resist the shit. It has nothing to do with like, oh, I made the wrong choices. And it's and we need, again, guardrails for those people, because if you hit that fucking pothole, you can't get out of it.
I don't believe you can have capitalism and legalize drugs. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. Capitalism is based on creating more capital, creating more wealth. Running a profit every quarter is not good enough. You have to grow your profits. Otherwise, your stock price doesn't go up. You don't get more investors. One of the number one things drugs do is kill focus and kill ambition.
Yeah, they're almost always a numbing agent.
You can have legal drugs, but you can't have capitalism with it. You can have capitalism, but you can't have legal drugs with it, because...
Yeah, but now I've got a philosophical question for you. Where do you draw the line on the drugs thing? Like, are we going to talk about, like, because we're in a society where, even from, again, a very early age, slap a fucking medicine on it, throw a pill at it.
Well, see, now you get into the questions of pharmaceuticals, and then now you're killing my hope, and my response becomes, we're fucked. It's too late.
Right. Oh, yeah, it's totally too late. But I'm just saying again.
Because, okay, that's another good thing about jail. The med cart would come through, and these guys would belly up to the fucking med cart. And it's like, you're just numbing these people. They're not helping.
Right.
There's no progress is being made here.
But that's what we as a society have grown into, is, again, like, if we have a problem, we medicate it.
Yes.
And that becomes an issue. Some medications are good, but they can all be abused. It doesn't matter what kind it is, even fucking Tylenol. There's a lady who literally took out herself and her baby to prove Trump wrong, and on TikTok. And it's just like, it doesn't matter.
Like killed?
Yeah. Like, she downed huge bottles of Tylenol to prove it doesn't give your kid autism, and it caused her to have like some sort of renal failure or something. And she's like she's done. And I don't know if they were able to save the baby or not. But it's, again, like I said, it creates just a societal and a subconscious kind of setup where it's like, no, you can take a substance to deal with your problem. And then we as a society throw substances at problems. And surprise, surprise, eventually the substances themselves become the problem.
I guess it depends on what you want. And what I want is a peaceful, prosperous society. And I don't think you get peace and prosperity with loading people up with chemicals of any stripe.
Right.
And people who can't be peaceful and prosperous should be in some form of therapeutic treatment until they can be, or so they're away from people. Because I think the therapeutic treatment thing, instead of the prison thing, is a win-win. Because either people rehabilitate to the point where at least they can struggle through life like the rest of us, or...
Right.
They're left in there.
It's a lost cause.
Or, they're left in there until the doctor says they can come out.
Right. We spot some of the red flags. Speaking of therapy, was that a thing that was available in there? Was there therapy? Was there mental health?
Not explicitly, but I did. There were resources on my phone that I used to kill time. I did read up about a few things.
Okay.
I read up a little about sex addiction because I've always kind of wondered about myself. My therapist told me I wasn't one.
Mm-hmm.
But
this is another thing that worries me. How soon till we have like AI chatbots and shit doing that? Because we're on tablets and we're on devices, and now AI is a thing. How soon until like, just talk to the AI chatbot while you're inside. It'll help you solve your problems.
That's something I want to talk about, because like, are we at the end and I'm right and we're coming up on the end of this whole thing? Or am I someone who grew up on horse and carriages and I think these cars are going to kill us all? Because I feel the same way you do about the AI chatbots, but what if they're the Ford Model T and I'm a buggy whip manufacturer?
I see the point you're trying to make there. I don't think it's the same, just because, like in this particular situation, you literally have the with it without it thing to test like the before and after. I mean, like, say what you will against the horse and buggy, the Model T, whatever. That was doing a job that needed to be done, just in a new way. And you said yourself, like, you disconnected from your phone and the internet, and those are things you're bringing with you forward. Like, nobody was like, you know what? I drove one of these cars for a week, made me really appreciate the horse that takes a shit in front of me when I do it normally and takes 5 times the time. So, I say, cars, I'm sticking with the horse and the buggy because I want to know that thing is eventually going to take a deuce. Like,
you know what I say?
Yeah,
you know what I say, Johnny?
What's that?
I saw an automobile once when I was a boy. Now they're everywhere. Seems like everybody went and got themselves in some damn hurry. By the way, what's Rumble Studio spitting out at us? 1,009. Oh, no, sorry, 997. Fuck. What did I say?
You didn't want a spike.
I didn't want a spike today. I wanted a normal show with our audience. 995. We'll see. There we go. Oh, 998. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit follow. At least subscribe if you're going to be here. We're not touching 1,000 tomorrow.
Probably not.
I was okay at 800. Anything over 800, I was going to be fucking pissed. And now I'm mad. And what did I say? It's going to be hilarious, but I'll be frustrated if we don't hit the goal and if there's no $100 drop to say welcome back. Sam with $5 says, how does your rear end feel after jail? What's your new boyfriend like?
He's a very giving lover.
Veldrain with $1 says, hey, Aaron, on Twitch, Emiro spoke out about how she was in an abusive relationship with Miss Kiff. You would have known about that if you had your phone on you. That's okay. Thank you, Veldrain, because I know you're doing a funny thing there. That's what I'm talking about.
His point.
That's my point. That's huge news. I was prepping today's show, and that was all over the place. And that's what made me go, we're fucked. Because when I was on the inside, I was reading about the fraud in Minnesota, what was going on with our food shelves during the federal government shutdown, the delinquencies on auto loans, Target struggles, and all that kind of shit, and the farm subsidies and how it's affecting crops and food supply and all of that stuff. And while I'm doing that and everyone's feeling bad or celebrating, like, Toe's in jail, or, oh, Toe's in jail, what's that? Believe me, I was staying way more informed than most of you were, because most of you were going, what did the Muro say about Miskiff? It's embarrassing. It's fucking embarrassing.